So yesterday, who remembers when we read the story, The Three Little Pigs? You remember? Yeah? Okay, and remember I had you guys pull your notebooks out and we took notes on the story of the Three Little Pigs? So yesterday we wrote down some important things that happened throughout the book, and I want you guys to go ahead and pull your notebooks back out and open to the next blank page, because today we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to read a different version of the Three Little Pigs. This version is called The True Story of the Three Little Pigs. So we're going to read this, and we're going to do what we did yesterday and stop and discuss throughout the story important things that happen during the book. So go ahead and pull out your pencils, flip to the next open page, and let's get started. Okay, now that we have read The True Story of the Three Little Pigs and The Three Little Pigs, I want you guys to raise your hand if you think that these stories were the same or if you think they were different. So who thinks they were the same? Raise your hand. Okay, and who thinks that they were different? So you think they were different, but you don't think they were the same? Well, I agree with you. I do think they're different, but I also think that they are the same in some ways. Would you agree that they're the same in some ways? Okay, so no matter if you raise your hand for if you thought these books were the same or if you raise your hand for if you thought these books were different, you're both correct because these stories are the same and they're also different. So does that make any sense? Do you think that's possible? No? Well, it is. So our goal today is to try to compare and contrast these two stories. Have you ever heard those words before, compare and contrast? Do you know what they mean? No? So compare and contrast. So compare means to tell how something is the same, and contrast means to tell how something is different. So we're going to compare and contrast these two stories, find their similarities, find things that are the same about them, and then also contrast them, find things that are different about them. So in order to do that, we're going to use a Venn diagram. Do you know what a Venn diagram is? No? In order to create a big Venn diagram, you need two big circles. So I brought these hula hoops in so that way we can make a big, huge Venn diagram to start with, just to kind of show you guys what it looks like. So to make it, you take the two circles, or if you were on a piece of paper, you draw them, but you need them to overlap like this. So you draw one, and then you draw another one, so they overlap until you have this space in the middle, okay? So on one side of the Venn diagram, you have your one thing that you're comparing. So for instance, we'll use the true story of the Three Little Pigs on this side of our Venn diagram. And then on this other side, we're gonna have the Three Little Pigs. So the true story of the Three Little Pigs, and then we'll do the Three Little Pigs on this side. So this side is all about the Three Little Pigs, and then this side is all about the true story of the Three Little Pigs. And in the middle, that's where we'll put things that are similar. So does that make sense? He was mad. So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to try to place these objects in the correct place. So if we're talking about the wolf and how he wanted to purposely eat the Three Little Pigs, so like his intentions were to go to the pig's house to eat them. Which book did that happen in? Which one are we going to place the fork in? Yeah, because it did happen in the Three Little Pigs story. Because was in this story, the true story of the Three Little Pigs, did the wolf say that he was going over to eat the Three Little Pigs? Was that his goal? No. So his goal in this story was to actually go over and get a cup of sugar. That's why he went to the pig's house in the first place, was to get a cup of sugar. So we would place that one in this area, because this one only happened in this story. He only went and got a cup of sugar in this story, because in this story he went to the pig's house to eat them because he was angry. Okay, so now let's talk about the wolf. So why would we have a wolf? Because there's a wolf in both of these stories, right? So if there's a wolf in both of these stories, where are you going to put the wolf at? Are you going to put it here? Is there a wolf only in that story? Yeah, good job. You're going to put it in the middle because there's a wolf in both of the stories. So what about the pig? Where are you going to place the pig? There's Three Little Pigs. Is there only a pig in this story? Is there only three pigs in this story? Or is there three pigs in both stories? Yeah, so you placed it in the middle because it's in both stories.
There's pigs in that story, pigs in that story.
Yeah, there is. Okay. So at the end of the story, and one of them, the wolf got arrested, And in the other one, the wolf fell into a pot of boiling water. Do you know which happened in which story? Which book did the wolf get arrested in? Yeah, he got arrested in that book. And which story did he fall into a pot of boiling water? Yes, good job. Okay, so now that we went through that and put the objects that I brought in into the Venn diagram, we're gonna go ahead and I printed off these pictures to go along with each of the objects. So now I want you on your own to put the objects and the pictures into the Venn diagram. So you're gonna do it all by yourself. If you need help, you can ask me questions, or you can get your notebook and look through it to try and remember if you forget which story something happened in. So you're gonna place the object and the picture that goes along with it and try to explain what it is to me as well. If you need help, I can help you.
Sugar.
So yeah, so you put the cup of sugar on this side because he went to the pig's house asking for a cup of sugar so he could bake a birthday cake. And now you have handcuffs. So you put the handcuffs on that side. Yeah, that's okay. So now you have the pig. So if there's 3 little pigs, where did that one go? Was there 3 little pigs in one story or in both stories or in both stories? Yeah, I agree with you. Okay, so a pot of boiling water. In which story does the wolf fall into the pot of boiling water? Good job.
The stick in the house for one little
The
pig.
house made of sticks, yeah. And the tissue goes in that one because he went to the house looking for a cup of sugar and got allergies, so he sneezed. So the house made of straw, a house made of bricks. They were in both stories.
And
So that, remember that one is because he went to the pig's house to eat them and because he was mad, so his intentions were to eat them on purpose. So that goes in that one. And then you have the wolf left. You're gonna put it in the middle because there's a wolf in both stories. So now I've taken away our big Venn diagram. I got rid of it because we used that already. You did a really good job with that. And I printed off this smaller thing of a Venn diagram. So this is what a Venn diagram would look like on a normal basis, like one that you would draw in your notebook. So I printed this off just to give you an example of it. But it's the same, it has the same stories on it. So it's the 3 little pigs and the true story of the 3 little pigs. And I placed the books right next to it on each side so that way you know which book we're talking about, which book is on which side. And instead of using the props that I had and using those pictures, I just printed off little like sentences that say like what each prop was, kind of explaining each prop. So like this one says wolf was arrested, and then we have wolf fell in a pot of boiling water, and we have 3 pigs and wolf and just like house made of sticks. So basically we have a sentence or like a little word that it describes each object that we had, and you're going to read each of these and then place them on the correct side of the Venn diagram. Yes, I will. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead, and I'm not gonna help you again. I want to see what you know, what you can do, but remember you can look back in your notes if you need help, or I can help you if you really need it. If you've looked in your notes and you still can't figure it out, but I think that you got this. I think that you're gonna do a good job. So let's go ahead and see, and if you need help reading one of the things, I can help you, or I can even read them first and hand them to you. So the first one we have, it says, wolf fell in a pot of boiling water. So did that go on the 3 little pigs side, or does it go on the true story of the 3 little pigs side? Yeah, good job. So place them so that way you can make sure you can fit everything in your Venn diagram. Do you know what that one says? You read it, what's it say? Huffed and puffed on purpose. Going to the pig's house to eat them. So that's where he purposely went to their house to eat them. So let's try this one. So the wolf was arrested. Which side does that go on? Or does it go in the middle? Yeah, it goes on the true story of the 3 little pigs side. House made of straw. So which story had the house made of straw? Yeah, it goes in the middle. That one says wolf. There's a wolf in both stories. You definitely got it down. So tomorrow, if we tried to compare and contrast something else like that, like try to compare and contrast something that wasn't these stories, do you think you would understand how to do that? Yeah? You think you would understand how to do that? Okay, that's excellent. I'm super glad. I hope. So tomorrow, that's what we're going to do. We're going to try to think of different things that we can compare and contrast. Like maybe we could compare and contrast a dog, like tell how dogs and cats, like say how dogs and cats are the same and say how they're different. So that's what we're going to work on tomorrow. And you did an excellent job today.